I can try to sugarcoat it 1,000,000 times, but the truth is that's all I'm going to do. Turn something that should never have happened to my advantage. But it did. My name is Daryl Townsend, and I work as a bridge designer. I regularly speak at events organized by several organizations that like to milk local authorities. About once every 2 months, I travel to a conference. My company benefits greatly from the referrals I get at these events. Thanks to this, I earn more money than I ever dreamed possible. I've been married to Peggy for 5 years, whom I started dating in my senior year of college. She had already graduated, but took additional courses to become a nurse. She successfully completed all the requirements and now works at a hospital, where she also earns a good salary. About 2 years ago, we bought our first home and live in a very prestigious gated community. Dual income, no kids, that's us. Kids are part of our long-term plans, but neither of us wants to change our lifestyle of luxury vacations and parties. I know it sounds like an excuse, but I guess it is. My week started off badly. On Wednesday, I got food poisoning. After spending most of Thursday in the emergency room, I only slept for 2 hours. The medication didn't help settle my stomach. This continued throughout Saturday and Sunday. I didn't eat anything normal for several days and didn't want to eat. On Sunday, my flight was delayed due to a winter storm that affected flights out of O'Hare Airport. I missed the start of the conference and the welcome reception. On the way to the hotel, some idiot ran a red light and the car next to me crashed into my rental car. By the time I had filled out all the paperwork for the insurance company and the police, my blood pressure was sky high. Fortunately, I had fully insured the rental car this time. These meetings usually end around 10, and I arrived at 9:30. A double shot of scotch without ice started my downfall. Most of my acquaintances had already left, but dozens of people remained. Government employees love parties. I found myself at a table with several drunk people. After the second round, I also felt a little drunk. A shapely lady was forced to press herself against me so that a few more people could join our table. My downward spiral was on its way to a medal. She was pushing me to the limit. At least we left the dance floor, but we quickly met up on my floor. As soon as the door was locked, I admired her little striptease. "Let me undress you," she said, pushing me onto the bed. She threw away the used condom, and we fell asleep in each other's arms. When I opened my eyes in the morning, I was racked with guilt. I never found out her name. At least I don't think so. When I made it to the bathroom, my stomach gave way and I started vomiting. While I was in the shower, I realized I hadn't called Peggy since I spoke to her while the police were investigating the accident. That wasn't like me. I caught up with her just before she left for her shift. She was furious, and I think I would have been too. There was no time for the truth, so I started lying. The next few days felt like an eternity. I knew I would never be able to hide my betrayal from Peggy. She reads me like an open book, and even my friends noticed that I wasn't in my usual cheerful mood. Whoever this woman was, she must have left because no one approached me. I can't say that I recognized her during the presentations. My calls home every morning and evening must have alarmed Peggy. As soon as I walked in the door, she knew something was wrong. After I put my suitcase in the bedroom, she stood in the doorway. "Spill it." My eyes filled with tears as I tried to remember the speech I had rehearsed. All I could say was, "I'm so sorry." By the time I left, I feared for my life. An abandoned woman is not just a myth. The house was littered with broken picture frames, chairs, lamps, and anything else that wasn't nailed down. I had awakened a demon in her, and she made sure I knew what a worthless piece of trash I was. Peggy and I barely spoke for 2 weeks while I lived in a cheap motel by the highway. But one night, everything changed. "Daryl, I've made a decision. Meet me at El Burrito at 6 p.m., she said coldly and without emotion. I wanted to respond, but Peggy hung up immediately. I don't know what it's like to stand in front of a firing squad, but as I waited at El Burrito, I was as nervous as a virgin at a fraternity party. When Peggy walked in, she rejected my attempts to hug or kiss her. She was focused solely on business. I don't want to hear your apologies. You have no idea how much you hurt me. I'll tell you what you need to do to get us back together. Peggy opened her tablet, and I saw a page on a social media site. The photo was of a woman wearing a carnival mask and very revealing red lingerie. Judging by the size and shape of what was visible, I was almost certain it was Peggy. It wasn't a selfie, so I hoped it wasn't taken by some guy she slept with out of revenge. I studied the profile under Peggy's stern gaze and noticed the status, married, with the right to cheat. Peggy, is this your page? What will your friends, our friends, think? No, I created a new account. On the first night, I got over 1,000 responses. I changed the settings to limit followers to a 50-mile radius, but I still get about 100 responses every day. Lots of photos of their manhood. Peggy, why don't you just get revenge on your husband with sex? I didn't mean to cheat on you, but it happened. Let it go and forget about it. Unlike you, I don't jump into bed with the first guy I meet. I want to be sure that my affair is with someone who is worthy of me. Maybe I'll go out for coffee or dinner with him first, see if there's any chemistry between us. You can come with us. I won't hide anything from you. As soon as I decide whether it's a one-time fling or a long weekend like yours, I'll let you know. You say it was just one night? But why should I believe you? I need to think about it. Are you staying for dinner? If you're paying. Dinner was very awkward. It was almost impossible to discuss what was on everyone's mind. As we were leaving, I asked, Daryl, when can I expect your answer? I want you to come back, but I don't know if I can do this. How about we meet here tomorrow at 6? Sure. Bye. She didn't even look back as she walked away. I was in deep shit. I tried to look at it from Peggy's perspective. If I found out she had a one-night stand, I would be devastated. I would ask myself questions. Where did I go wrong? Is it just me, or did I do something wrong? All these things that I hoped were just in my imagination gave me a little insight into what I had done to Peggy. For me, it was just sex. If she could forgive me, I think I could grit my teeth and get through it. It would just be sex, unless she didn't like it. Peggy and I met at 6, again, to talk business. We ate in silence, although I agreed she could make one mistake. I had no idea that was just the beginning. She had hurt me deeply, and now she was going to twist the knife. On Saturday morning, I returned home. Peggy had been glued to her computer for hours. She declined my invitation to dinner, so I ordered pizza delivery. This is crazy, Daryl. I have 200 unread messages. I think I'm going to chat with some of these hotties. Don't worry, I'll do it right in front of you. I'm not going to hide like someone we know. If that was supposed to cheer me up, it didn't work. The thought of her spreading her legs was killing me. But this form of torture made my stomach twist into a knot. Peggy was sitting in her chair and I was in mine when her cell phone rang. Hello? Yes, it's me. Thanks for calling. Tell me what you have planned for tonight. I didn't sleep with her that night, preferring to fall asleep on the couch. Every night was the same. She tormented me with every call. Soon it escalated to video chat. Oh my God, you weren't kidding. That's impressive. I was determined not to sleep with Peggy until she stopped this nonsense, but that only seemed to make her more aggressive. Some of the callers started calling uninvited. Peggy would brush them off. Don't call me anymore. I'll let you know if I like you. Wait until I tell you to call. Got it? Then another call came in, but this one was invited to talk. No, it was a one-time thing. Yes, even if you're the best I've ever had. Although I'm sure he still has his mistress's number, so I might keep yours. Gradually, my love turned to hate. When are you finally going to make up your mind, Peggy? When I'm ready. When will we make love again? When will you share your bed with me again? Not until you finish your revenge with your pass to paradise. Well, I can just keep it for a long time. What will you do then, huh? Answer me. You started this shit and I'll make you pay for it. You destroyed me. You have no idea how much you hurt me. I'll make sure you never forget it. If I had stayed, I would have said something I couldn't take back. So I left and booked a motel room. That only made the next few nights worse as I weeded out potential candidates. One night it went like this. Good question. Let me ask him. He wants to know if we can do something we haven't tried yet. Have you tried that with your whore? He's not answering, so I can try anything I want. The next evening, no condom, I don't care what you say. Another night, and I was close to breaking down. Maybe you're right. This is no different from watching porn. Wow, you've gone so high and so far. No, I'm not interested in your brother joining us. The end came the night the conversation went like this. Well, I think he'll be there to protect me. Let me check. I gave her the middle finger and spent another night in a motel. I'd had enough. The next day, I took a leave of absence from work and moved out. As I walked through the house for the last time, I made sure I had taken everything I wanted. Nothing connected to our past remained. My wedding ring and a copy of the divorce papers lay on the bed. My note was simple. You won. Enjoy your life. I was too immature to get married. I'm sorry I couldn't keep my wedding vows. I hope I'll be better to my next wife. Enjoy your pass. Daryl. Although I didn't feel any ill will toward her, I went online and changed her status on social media to divorced with a pass. Peggy's discovery. Daryl was supposed to make dinner, but his car wasn't in the garage. I checked my phone and saw a bunch of messages from friends, but no calls or texts from Daryl. I hope he's okay. I walked into the house, threw my keys on the table, kicked off my shoes, and tousled my hair. I opened a bottle of wine and poured myself a healthy dose of happiness. My attempt to call Daryl ended in voicemail. I crossed my legs and sat down in an armchair. Time to read my missed messages and emails. Hey, girl, how's it going? Call me. From my best friend. I wonder what she wants. Sorry, sweetie. I'm always here for you. From one of my coworkers. Damn, I saw her at lunch. The message from my mother was also mysterious. Weren't you supposed to tell me about that? I called her. Hi, Mom. Why didn't you tell me? Tell you what? About your divorce. What divorce? Daryl and I are going through a rough patch, but we're not getting divorced. Then why is your status divorced with the right to have affairs? Wait, I panicked and opened the app. Damn, I changed my status back to married. I have to go, Mom, I said, and hung up without waiting for her answer. Daryl didn't answer my calls or messages. Almost all the messages were from my followers, wishing me luck and offering support. My vision blurred and my limbs trembled. With unsteady steps, I hurried to our bedroom. The ring and papers on the bed drew me like a magnet. My heart broke when I realized I had pushed Daryl away. I called him dozens of times. Daryl's mother's call was useless. Hi, Mom. Have you heard from Daryl? Yes, dear, I have. He asked me not to tell you where he went. How are you? I'm desperate. We tried to work things out, but he just gave up. You have to tell him how much I love him. I can't promise anything, Peggy. I've never seen him so distant. His eyes were empty. He answered in monosyllables and couldn't wait to leave. He said, "You win," whatever that means. There was no emotion in his words. Let's get a divorce. I really hope you can work things out. I cried, Me too, Mom, me too. Some of his things were gone. I was devastated again. How could he leave like that? It was a difficult night. Friends called, but I didn't answer. The call I prayed for never came. I woke up in the same clothes I had worn to work the day before. There were obvious signs that I hadn't slept well. My eyes were sticky, and I had to put on extra makeup to look presentable. Work was awful because everyone found out about my marital crisis. I caught myself daydreaming and wiping away tears. Finally, my boss sent me home, telling me to pull myself together or take a vacation. Daryl's calls to work only made me feel worse. He took a leave of absence, and I wasn't given any details. I thought it was Daryl ringing the doorbell, but soon I discovered that I had been officially served with divorce papers. That stupid disposable phone rang several times a day. In the end, I closed my social media accounts and turned off my phone. I understood only one thing. Men will do anything to get free sex. I wanted love. I wanted my life back. The pain of Daryl's betrayal was nothing compared to what I was feeling now, thinking about a life without him. The hopes and dreams I had for a family with him were driving me crazy. What if I refused to sign? My lawyer said, "Everything will happen as it should. It will just take longer and cost more." What about mandatory counseling? Unlikely, since you don't have children. The courts have more important things to do than settle disputes between two people who can't get along. But we get along. That's why he filed for divorce. This is a misunderstanding. Can't you ask his lawyer to at least call me? I'll mention it in my report to the court. Are you signing or not? No, I don't want a divorce, and it won't be granted without my consent. As you wish. I'll send you the bill for this month. All the best. Daryl's time away from home. I spent 2 weeks at my uncle's apartment west of Phoenix. I was running out of money and didn't want to reveal my location by using credit cards. Did they even work? I spent most of my time walking around the golf courses in Sun City. Golf took my mind off things. My self-analysis told me that if I really loved Peggy, I would never have given in to temptation. Until that fateful night, I sincerely believed that I loved her with all my heart. Was I really such a small person? How could I have been so weak? I was right when I wrote to Peggy that I was immature. The other side of the coin was how viciously Peggy had arranged her freedom. Did she really do that after I left? The mere thought of it made me sick, but I had only myself to blame. Still, I never expected Peggy to torment me like that. If she had left for just one night and come back the next day, we would still be together. 2 weeks without a phone were tough. I realized that I missed social media and watching meaningless videos of people I had never met and never wanted to meet. I vowed to get rid of these habits in my new life. When I returned to the city, it was almost midnight, so I stayed at the motel by the highway again. The same clerk greeted me. "Hey, where have you been?" In the morning, I turned on my phone. My voicemail was full. I had used up my SMS limit. I called my mom, and she invited me over for breakfast. Dad had already left for work. "Good morning, Mom," I said, hugging her gently. "You look much better than the last time I saw you." "Yes, I spent a long time looking at myself in the mirror. I didn't like what I saw." "Ready to tell me what led to that?" "I cheated on Peggy. To stay together, I gave her freedom. It wasn't enough for her, and the psychological abuse took its toll on me. She'll never let me forget it, so I decided divorce was best for both of us. Since she calls here every day, I doubt she feels the same way. She says she won't sign the divorce papers." "Why? To torment me even more?" "I've reached my limit. She wanted me to suffer, and I did. But married people don't behave like me or her. I know I still have a lot to learn, but so does she. She came to see you several times and cried on your shoulder. She really regrets pushing you away. Did you talk to her after you left?" "No, I didn't have the courage." "You need to sit down and talk to her. Come to some understanding of what the future holds for both of you. It's time for you to kiss and make up or break up. She's suffering. You're suffering. What a couple you are. It's obvious to me that you still love each other." I sat in my car in front of the house waiting for Peggy to come home from work. I had an hour, and I was going through my missed emails. I could almost feel her emotional pain as she begged me to come home. The threat of losing her was gone. In her last email, she even said she would never mention my infidelity or losing her again, and that it could be part of the agreement after the divorce. Her voice messages were full of anxiety. Tears welled up in my eyes. After reading her text messages, I was convinced that she really wanted to work things out. It was time to leave work, and Peggy still wasn't there. I was about to leave when a tire company truck pulled up at an angle to my car. Peggy jumped out of the passenger seat and opened my door. To say I was confused was an understatement. Was this her new boyfriend? Were all her messages lies? "You're back. I love you. I love you. I love you." Then who was that? "You said you needed to get your tires changed, so I left the car after work. They offer free delivery and pick up the car when it's ready. They'll pick me up when it's done. Who do you think that was?" "It doesn't matter. Can we talk?" "Yes. Here, in the house, wherever you want." "How about the porch?" Peggy ran to the swing on the porch and beamed when I approached. "I'm sorry I sent you away. I was wrong, and I hope you can forgive me," she said, her eyes filling with tears. "We're both broken people. I need help understanding how I could hurt someone I love so much. Will you go with me to a marriage counselor?" If Peggy had been stronger, her hug would have broken a few of my ribs. Family therapy, both individual and joint, opened up old wounds, but this time we stitched them up and applied the appropriate bandages. I explained in detail why I had lost control, and Peggy told me that before closing her account, she had done nothing but make phone calls and video chat. We cried. We hugged. "We're going to survive!" I asked my lawyer to withdraw the divorce papers. True to her word, Peggy never mentioned my infidelity or the fact that I gave her freedom. Neither did I. Since then, I've been a saint in my relationships with other women. I learned my lesson. 3 years later, we decided to start a family, and in a few months, we will have our first child. My mom still says she has never seen two people who love each other so much. Imperfect people, capable of making mistakes, but still very much in love.